Those who don't watch anime are scum, but those who say that anime is cartoon are even worse than scum. Stuff like this gets me mad, not because I think anime is weird, but because cartoons are freaking dope, man. Ben 10 solos Goku. This is non-negotiable and objectively true. Hi again, guys, and Attack on Titan ended a few weeks ago. Great show, right? I only caught up on it recently, and with how sick it ended up being, I have been scolding 13-year-old me for always knowing about that show, thinking about watching it, and then not going through with it. You know, like a moron. I had all the tools in front of me to experience AOT as it happened, and I missed out until the very end. So now I'm gonna take my rage at my own flaws out on other people. Anime fans, weebs, people adjacent to those two things, prepare for the wrath of my emotional breakdown. Weebs on their way to make the unfunniest and shittiest memes to ever exist. They're cooking in the lab like Malcolm's dad. Look, I'm all for seeing a reference to something I like and going, holy crap, I know that thing, and then laughing because I like it. But even for me, the Animeme subreddit is a wasteland. Any woman that shows interest in you is an agent of the state. Immediately cut off all contact with her and flee the country. Wait, that's not right. I giggled at that one. Maybe we need to try a different one. When you need to do a class presentation, but your wiener is hard. Up there it is. That one sucked. It's not even like this is a situation I've never related to. Anytime I got told that we had to present our project to the class, I was shit scared that my willy would pick the worst time to take a stand. But man, what a lame image to represent that feeling with. There's gotta be a real Rolodex of stuff in anime to depict your wiener getting up at a bad time. You had so many options, I'm sure. The first thing I thought of when I saw this meme template, and it's Nina from Full Metal Alchemist. People who don't know versus people who know. Oh, guys, I know what happens to her. I watched the show. It was really tragic. If you don't know, you can tell that it was bad because people who do know are all fucked up and analog horror looking. There are a lot of memes in that format for a bunch of different shows. It's basically just insert the awful thing that happened in your favorite series and then apply it to this template. And I swear, a lot of these people in these anime communities have to be the same folks spooning their eyes out when they see an anime meme that makes them wince. Because I saw this post well at the top of r/animemes right next to the quote-unquote cringe stuff. Mommy this, mommy that. How about you start talking to your own mother instead of calling random girls on the internet a mommy, you pathetic little piece of shit? I could say the same thing about some of my viewers for different but related reasons. This post just felt so filled with rage, just a person's built up vitriol and spite spilling out of their fingertips onto the keyboard typing that. The problem is, the people getting dragged on the pavement here probably like getting talked to like that. And in their defense, they kinda can't win no matter what they do with us. Somebody posted this in the replies of the mommy meme. Okay, we get it. You want to plow anime girls. Please just make actual jokes about the anime you're watching. And I would say I agree, but like with most of the stuff I say in this video, I'm a hypocrite about it. Just a second ago, I was pooing all over anime watchers who memes were just, remember that thing that happened in the show we both watched? They really can't win. That being said, I have found my gold standard. My friend denying the guts of a titan on our first day of survey court. And hey, it's just a couple of chill dudes hanging out in the guts of a whale. That was also all costume and set design, by the way, Google. None of that was real. It was for the show The Boys from the behind the scenes. You can look it up, guys. I'm not lying. Use your own search engine. Do you have sexual relations with your significant other? How much does it play a role in your relationship? And this one guy thought he was a part of this conversation. Hayasaka and I do it on a pretty regular basis, and we both get incredibly passionate during it. I'd say it plays a decent role, but it's definitely not the biggest factor by far. Just so we're all on the same page, he's not talking about a person. This is in reference to a body pillow with a picture of a character on it. They do it on a regular basis. This guy has probably unloaded enough white stuff to completely drown a figure of that character inside a jar. Just a tub of white lard hardened into a brick. Oh, and speaking of tubs, y'all may have noticed some neat looking tubs on my shelf. I'm very excited to say these are here to stay because I am officially partnering with GamerSupps. This one is Guacamole Gamer Fart 9000. You can get a sample of this completely for free, by the way, including shipping. It's first link in the description, but only for the next 48 hours. GSupps gave me complete freedom here, and luckily for them, they are genuinely my go-to energy drink. When you put GSupps in water, it mixes like gay dudes in fanfiction, almost perfectly. Of all the powder mixed drinks that I've had, GamerSupps has by far been the smoothest. There is no chalkiness in it at all. Some of y'all know this already, but trust me, I have tried other ones. They are not as good. When I microdose caffeine, GSupps has held me the most gently while coming down, as in not just dropping me, and they really have some of the best drink flavors I've gotten my hands on. Their formula is crazy. Stuff like Grandpa's Ashes, Slat's Titty Milk, and Blue. And for me, I get low blood sugar pretty often, so I can only have so much caffeine in a day, but GSupps makes caffeine-free versions of a shit ton of their flavors. So I can have a cup of my girl juice and one of their branded shakers, got titties on the front, without getting wired to the gills, while staying hydrated and keeping my pee clear as glass throughout the day. I'm personally a big fan of lean, as in the GSupps flavor by the group chat. I've been drinking it out of shaker cups with a drawing of my friend's ass on it. Shout out Cottontail. I am forced to look at her tail. You might have noticed already, but part of why I like Gamersupps is we share a similar sense of humor. They just kind of get it, which is rare with sponsors. They're helping me do a lot of cool stuff, both with them and with my own projects that I'm dying to share with y'all soon. Listen, if you go to the first link in the description within the next 2 days of this video being uploaded, you can try Gamersupps completely for free. That includes both shipping and handling. You can try it at no charge, decide if it's for you, and if you like it enough that you want to buy some, you can use code QUITE for 10% off at checkout. It really helps out the channel, and it shows them that I'm not a waste of time and resources. This guy made a whole slideshow on the anime quintessential quintuplets to his entire class. If that name seemed like a mouthful, you should look at some of the titles they have nowadays. I can't show you the video somebody recorded of it, but highlights include people laughing at this guy trying to explain the lore, and him playing the anime opening in the middle of the presentation. I haven't watched this show, I don't know what it's about, and I won't judge this guy for being into it. The cringe here to me is only in concept. I cringe because it's hard to watch someone do this knowing what it will do to them. What can't be denied is the massive set of balls on this guy for the courage to do it anyways. One thing you might have seen out in the wild is people thinking something is lame, but then the same thing in Japan. Now that's the stuff. Place versus place Japan, if you will. Someone got caught doing this in real time. The Japanese dub for Scott Pilgrim is actually so good. They've got such a stacked cast of voice actors. Wait a minute, I might watch this in Japanese dub instead. I'm sure the Japanese cast is very talented, but if you didn't know, the English voice actors are literally all the actors from the movie reprising their roles specifically because they adored working on the movie so much, and they all kept in touch and wanted to do it. That list includes Michael Cera back as Scott, Chris Evans, Ellen Wong, Aubrey Plaza, Brie Larson. Literally every single person from the original cast came back because of their passion for Scott Pilgrim, and this motherfucker still went, bro, I gotta watch the Japanese dub. Dog, you are hiding behind that language barrier like it's Gears of War. To flip that on its head though, Paris Syndrome is when largely Japanese, but also other Asian tourists visit Paris, and they are just distraught or completely flabbergasted at it not being the city they thought it was in their head. There's a reverse of that same thing, where some Japanese people fall in love with the scenery of shithole England. From a translated tweet, it makes me sad that there are only a few days left of the fancy scenery outside my room window that I used to see every day. This is the depressing ass view from their British home in question. That's definitely the best that place has ever looked too, because it isn't gray outside for the first time in a century. Now, to be fair, in regards to weebs having a distorted view of Japan, there is a lot of self-awareness around these issues within those communities. It's a pretty common talking point these days when folks discuss moving to Japan to just manage expectations and recognize that Japan is a place like anywhere else with its own issues. Even the anime subreddit had a stroke of genius when they brought up this harsh reality in one of its top posts of the last year. But what I'm about to show you now is a lot weirder. Here's some folks being not just out of touch with Japan as a society, but just Asian people in general. I didn't know archery could be so kawaii. They got complete silence from the audience of replies and said, yikes, I show support for our anime sisters in the Olympics and you're mad. See, right there, that's the shit we're talking about. I'm half Asian, and I'm pretty sure the person who got called an anime sister was fucking Korean. Like, sometimes these type of people will group all Asians together under the banner of anime people, but then they create subgenres of Asian people who count as Asian enough to be from anime. Filipino is not real Asian. You're just kind of brown. Oh, I was like taking buckshot to the chest for half of me. Like, what the fuck, man? You're kicking us out? The Japanese literally tried making us a part of them in World War II. That's gotta count for something. Why can't we at least be like honorary anime people? Well, if we can't have this, there's one thing nobody can take from us, and that is swag. Man, I never thought I'd feel bad for getting left out of racism. It's confusing out here, man. I think if I ever wanted to try dating again, I'd want to marry a nice little Asian woman. Oh god, a guy named Justin says he wants to pursue an Asian girl. I feel like I've seen this story 1,000 times. I married the Bible thumper, dated the badass that drank blood. I think you jumped from that first one to the second a little too casually. Like, were you dating a vampire? I think it's time for someone who enjoys anime, is very trusting, loyal, an amazing cook, since I was always the one who cooked. If this is you cooking, you burn the fucking cookies, man. And when she gets angry and starts screaming in her native language, I'll just turn off the subtitles. You dumbass. Half the Asian girls you'll find in America are only gonna speak English. Some of us were born here. Our native language is English with a thick Boston accent. When she gets mad at you, it's not gonna sound like anime, it's gonna sound like The Sopranos. It sounds like you're saying you want an Asian girl that you can barely communicate with, is very trusting and loyal, and that you'll dismiss the concerns of because you can't understand them. I don't like where that combo of traits is going at all. I'll be staring trying to gather the little pieces I understand. It will be more like a game while I sit there and just shake my head yes. I'm just really flabbergasted that he narrowed down his pursuits to Asian, as if that actually narrows it down at all. You might end up finding an Asian woman who is also a Bible thumper, or also drinks blood. It's not mutually exclusive, man. On that same issue, in the opposite direction, you have Fat Yoshi pleading for help to the one they see as a god. Save me, white girl. White girl, white girl, save me. Thing is here, for most of y'all reading, I feel like a specific white girl came to mind, as in an individual. You probably have a crush on a specific person with nuances, one of which happens to be the moniker of white woman. However, there are some folks out there who take the same approach as the guy who wanted an Asian wife that came with subtitles. I've got one such specimen here who went on that journey and came back finding it fruitless. I give up looking for white woman. It's not my fate. Look at the complete tranquility and inner peace this guy has found after coming to terms with that. It's not my fate. Like, that is such a final statement. I would say never give up hope, but something more like, if it happens, it happens, feels more appropriate here. People were requesting a Wojak version of the face this guy was making, and I do agree. I haven't seen one that successfully captures its essence yet, but even if it's difficult and takes a lot of tries, it's too perfect a frame to not try and capture its beauty. That's all I got. Remember, you can try GamerSupps completely free for the next 48 hours using my link in the description. It really does help out the channel, and I would really appreciate it. Anyways, this has been Quite, and I'm doing lines of G-Supps off a supermodel's ass.